Hi everyone. Today we'll be discussing an important ethical dilemma in the topic of health compromising behaviors. Personal responsibility versus societal responsibility. So let's start by really discussing what an ethical dilemma is. This is a situation where we have to make a decision about what is morally right or wrong to do. These are not arguments or debates about scientific data or findings. Instead, this is about the actions that we take in different situations. The most impactful dilemmas revolve around situations where the choices are bad and worse, and there is no easy outcome. For example, a classic one is the decision to use atomic weapons on Japan in World War II. The use of the weapons killed countless civilians immediately, many more to slow and painful radiation poisoning, and created decades of ongoing health issues. The justification was to bring the war in the Pacific to a swift end and reduce the amount of American soldiers who would die in an invasion of the home islands of Japan. Clearly, this is not an easy decision to make because both paths lead to extreme amounts of death and suffering for human beings. As we move further and further into this course, we will examine more and more difficult and complicated ethical dilemmas. But this block will start with a simple one. Our dilemma of a personal responsibility versus societal responsibility arises when individuals engage in behaviors that compromise their own health, but they also have negative effects on others and society as a whole. So let's go through some examples of this dilemma. Smoking is a personal choice that can have serious negative health impacts on the smoker, such as lung cancer and heart disease. In fact, smokers are 15 to 30 times more likely to get lung cancer and 2 to 4 times more likely for heart diseases, including strokes, than non-smokers. However, smoking can also have negative effects on others through second, third, and fourth-hand smoke exposure. Second-hand smoke is from direct exposure to smoke from the source. So this could be the smoker breathing out or their cigarette, cigar, etc. Third-hand smoke is exposure to smoke components that build up on surfaces. This could be such as tables, walls, etc. Over time, simply airing out a room does not remove this exposure risk. This raises the question of whether individuals have a personal right to engage in behaviors that harm not only their own health, but also potentially harm others. To begin to approach this question, we have to resolve a question. What is the societal responsibility to promote public health and prevent negative health outcomes for individuals and society as a whole? Answering this question means considering regulations on harmful behaviors, such as taxes on sugary drinks or smoking bans in public spaces, as well as education campaigns to promote healthy behaviors. As we will learn in more depth later in this term, sorry, I had to yell at my dog. So as we learn more in depth later in this term, additional taxes, are sometimes called sin taxes, have a dramatic effect on people's decision making. We may also consider a more stringent measure on negative behaviors, prohibition of the activity under law. Finding a balance between personal freedom and responsibility and societal responsibility can be challenging as it involves navigating complex ethical, cultural, and social issues. There are many approaches we could take on this topic. One approach is to promote individual autonomy and informed decision-making while also encouraging individuals to consider the potential impact of their behaviors on others and society as a whole. Another approach would be to promote and enforce the behavior that results in the greatest good for the most amount of people in the society. As you learned in the ethics module, there are many approaches you could take to decide what the morally correct action is on this topic. As students in this course, we are going to turn the topic over to you to consider and then take a stance on in your journal this block. In your journal, you need to include one paragraph on the following questions. First, how should we approach dealing with health compromising behaviors? For our purpose, assume that this means behaviors that have no health-related benefits for the person engaging in it, such as smoking or excessive sugar consumption. Second, Which ethical viewpoint from the list at the start of our ethics module do you believe you used to answer the first question? What makes you think you used this viewpoint?